you can wear anything that you want. But I have to tell you that I have found 5 fall styling mistakes that you may be making that are actually making your menopause Bailey look bigger. Style mistake number 1, and this I see so often. You wear a pair of wide leg jeans, very fashionable, has the potential to really work well to disguise your menopausal Bailey, but you wear it with a big baggy sweater or top. And what does that do? That actually makes you look bigger everywhere. Now, I understand. I promise you I do understand what it feels like to suddenly have extra inches around your Bailey. And you're like, what the is going on? You know what I mean. But the thing is, so often what we tend to do is we dress to try and cover everything up. What that often does, though, is it actually has the opposite effect. It can make you look bigger everywhere. Is it disguising your meno Bailey? Sure, probably it is, but it's disguising a whole bunch of good things too. So what's the alternative? The alternative is, yes, make sure that your wide leg pants are going to give you that beautiful nip in the waist, fit in the hip, and then flare out into the hem. That automatically creates more balance. When the width is at the bottom, it actually makes everything above it look narrow in comparison. But it doesn't work when you're wearing a big baggy sweater or top over it. It just makes everything look bigger. So let the wide leg jeans or pants do their magic and rather go for more fitted tops, preferably tucked in. If you can't tuck them in, if that feels like way too much for you and too much exposure, then you can wear your top slightly over. And in fact, they're a little bit on the longer size. You can rouge them up like that, which will give you further kind of disguising properties. The thing is, girlfriend, you want to go more fitted. You want to go more shapely on the top to balance the volume of the bottom. Another thing that you can do, and it's all about drawing the eye to where you want it to go and away from the parts that you don't want it to go, is choose tops that have got a little bit of detail on the top or in a place that you actually want to add attention to, because that way it draws the eye to where there's interest and away from the places that you're not so crazy about. Oh, and by the way, the items that you see me wearing in the video, I'll put in the description box below, as well as tag them in the video. You didn't know, YouTube is making it easy for you to shop videos now. Style mistake number 2. Now, you may get that you need to wear shorter tops with your wide leg jeans. Maybe you figured that part out. But you still are wearing very boxy tops with your wide leg jeans. Again, that's not going to give you the effect that you want. This is the thing, girlfriend. Defining your waist is actually the most important thing when trying to disguise your meno Bailey, because your Bailey's down here, but your waist is up here. And what we want to do is draw the eye up as opposed to further down. So wearing boxy things is just not going to define your waist, and it's not going to allow, again, for the wide leg to do its magical powers. Now, what is the alternative? So the alternative, again, is to wear more fitted tops, preferably tucked in or slightly out. But I understand that for a lot of us, it's not just about the Bailey, right? When we go through perimenopause and menopause, everything kind of starts feeling a little bloated. For me, that was definitely the case. So sometimes what happens is the back fat effect starts to happen. Your upper arms start to look a little like different and a little more flabby. I've experienced all these things. Like these things started happening to me. So I have a little style trick that's going to help you. It's going to allow for you to wear more fitted tops, even if it's in a solid color, and still get a little bit of that smoothing effect. This is one of my favorite style tricks. Use a tailored vest as an extra layer. What that's going to do is smooth out all of those little extra pieces and still allow you to wear more fitted, even sometimes solid color tops that will not show all the bra lines or the extra bits, that fold over the waistband, all of those things. Now, getting the right vest sometimes can be a little bit challenging. Also getting the right length, because you do want it long enough so that it gives you coverage in the places that you feel the most self-conscious. But it is one of those things that I think is an essential. So it's worth trying out a few and seeing what works. I will put some links in the description below to give you a couple of different options that you can check out. Definitely get them home, try and find out what works. And then if you find one, hold on to it, girlfriend. In fact, maybe if there's another color, get two, because this truly can make a difference. Now, one thing I do want to say is that sometimes it is a struggle to get it closed. That's actually not what's important. It needs to look like it can close. I mean, even this one is a little bit on the tight side for me. I mean, it's fine, but it is a little bit on the tight side. However, when I wear it open, what it does is actually draws my eye down the body, and it still gives me that really good cinching into the waist without these things showing. And so this really can be a piece that is going to completely transform your existing wardrobe. You may have tops in your closet that you just don't dare wear because you don't want things showing, or they feel a little bit on the tight side, but maybe it's still a really good color for you. This is a good thing to wear. There are so many ways that you are going to be able to transform your wardrobe with a good vest. So get shopping and find that perfect piece, because let me tell you, it makes a huge difference. Oh, and by the way, if you're new to me, I'm Tracy Gold. I'm a personal stylist and designer, and I've been styling women just like you for well over 20 years. So let's get on with the third style mistake. Style mistake number 3 is about a horizontal stripe. I see this so often, especially in knitwear, and especially this fall. The whole rugby jerseys coming back in. I don't know. It's a weird... It's like I saw a bunch of them in the store and I was like, what's going on? Anyway, girlfriend, avoid that trend. Because listen, anything that draws the eye across the body, is especially in the top, is really going to make your menopausal belly look wider. In fact, it's going to make the whole body look wider. And I don't know about you, but for the most part, it tends to be this part of our body that we're not really wanting to draw so much attention to. So what's the alternative? Now, the idea of a print is a good idea, just not a stripe going across, right? So a print that is going to disguise the eye. This is a tip that I always share with my clients, and I use a lot, let me tell you, because a print disguises a multitude of things. It really is so much more forgiving than a solid. When you're wearing a solid, and with the tops that I was wearing earlier, sure, a solid is doable, but it has to be the right fabric. It's got to be thicker fabric. It has to have hold. It can't be too clingy. There's a whole bunch of things that have to be considered when you're wearing a solid. However, in a print, so different. If I was wearing this as a solid, I wouldn't feel quite so comfortable in it. But because it's a print, it disguises a multitude of things. The thing with prints, though, and especially as we're talking about bottoms, it is going to be very important that it fits you well, because you don't want to have a big voluminous printed top wearing it with a big voluminous pair of wide leg jeans, or actually any jeans, because any big voluminous oversized thing in a print is going to make you look bigger. You want to go more fitted. Again, you can wear them a little bit out if you want to, like if it doesn't work for you, or maybe you are not doing the wide leg jean and you're doing more of a slight flare jean, or whatever the case is. Whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. What is important is that you've got that shaping in your waist, that you're not wearing things big and baggy and long, and that will again de-emphasize the belly. It's not about covering the belly up, it's about de-emphasizing and dressing your body as a whole so that you create balance. Even if the balance isn't really real, we can fake it. Now make sure to stay until the end, because style mistake number 5, I think, is so important and you're not going to want to miss that. So for style mistake number 4, this is about the length of your pants. Now I see this all the time. And although it may seem like, what has that got to do with my menopausal belly and how is that going to work? It actually does. Because remember what I said earlier, we're trying to dress the whole body, not just the meno belly. This is the thing. What I find is that when women wear pants, especially if they are a wide leg, or jeans, and they are too long and they drag on the ground, they kind of buckle up and make it look messy. But what's more important is it disrupts the line. So what we want is we want a line going down the body, a line that is going to elongate, that is going to make us look taller and slimmer immediately. When you draw the eye down the body, you automatically look taller and slimmer, and there's less emphasis in the areas that you're not so crazy about because it's an all over look. I understand that it's a little complicated because often we've got a flat and then a medium heel and then a high heel. And so what do? Try your best to get the length that is going to work for most of your shoes that you're going to wear with those jeans. So as an example, I tend to wear a platform shoe almost all the time. And so what I do is I go through my platform shoes that are varied in heights and I just try them on to find the perfect kind of length that's going to work majority of the time for all of them. So if you have very dramatic, like very, very high and very, very flat, that can be more complicated. So I'll leave you to figure out that one. But the thing is that you do want to try and get that line so that it goes really nice and straight down, and it elongates you, makes you look taller, makes you look slimmer, and in the end, actually works really well for your meno belly as well. For style mistake number 5, we're going to talk about dresses and skirts. We've spoken a lot about jeans, a lot about pants and tops. Now we're going to deal with the skirts and the dress situation. I have heard so many stylists say everybody can wear a pencil skirt. I completely disagree. I actually think a pencil skirt is the hardest style to wear. First of all, very difficult to be able to walk around because there's just not enough leg room in that. But what is really important for those of us struggling with a meno belly is that it emphasizes that part of our body. Now, obviously, there are variations of a pencil or, something a little bit more straight down that can possibly work better than this example. This example is pretty extreme, but it does illustrate the point. Compare the straight pencil skirt, the narrowed hem at the bottom, compare that to a fit and flare dress. I mean, there's just no comparison because what it does is when you have the narrowing at the hem, that actually makes the top part seem wider. When you have the width at the bottom, it makes the top part seem narrower. It's the same with the wide leg jean. When we have the width at the bottom, it just narrows everything else at the top. And that's the look we want to create. Now, I get it. A good wrap dress is very hard to find. A really good wrap dress. I mean, there are some out there, very, very difficult. And I prefer one that has a print because it really does disguise everything and makes it so much easier to wear without having to worry about it, catching us in the wrong places. But what you do want to do is you want to find something that wraps over really well. So many of the wrap dresses I've tried on, and I know my clients have tried on, they've said to me, like, wrap dresses just don't work for me because they don't wrap over properly, right? You need one that's going to wrap plenty, that's going to give you a lot of extra wrap so that it's adjustable, but also so that it's comfortable. You also need something that's going to fit nicely into the waist and then flare out in the hem. So that fit and flare effect is super important because, again, when you have the width at the bottom, it's going to narrow everything else above it to the top. What I love about wrap dresses is that they really do adjust with us as we go through our body changes. So even for me, like, I suddenly have a bigger bust, right? And even though I'm at least like I'm a size up from what I was, the wrap dresses still work because they're flexible, right? I can just wrap it over a little more or a little less and it still gives me the coverage. It's not gaping everywhere. Also, as my belly has changed, which it has, I've got curves, these same dresses work, because they fit nicely in the waist and they flare out in the hem. So a good wrap dress, girlfriend, there's just nothing to replace a good wrap dress. Again, I'll put the details of this in the description box below. Oh, and yes, it is from my collection and it can be customized to your perfect length. So details in the description. Now, if you love this video and you are still here, girlfriend, I just applaud you. Thank you. And I'm glad that you're enjoying it. Now, you may want to go deep dive into all the different things that I've put in the description box or in the video and shop for those things yourself. With pleasure, I've tried to make it as easy for you as possible. However, if you want to fast track that and you want to learn really quickly what works well for your menopausal belly, what works well for your body shape as a whole, and how you can dress to adapt to your body changes so that you still love the body you have and you're rocking it, then girlfriend, I do one-on-one styling sessions, both online and in person here in New York City. So I'll put the details in the description box below. Again, see you then. Take care. Bye-bye.